A leader stands in front of their people and says 5 words: I am the way, the truth, and the light. One civilization hears those words and becomes the most innovative, resilient, and fearless society ever built. Okay? The other civilization, on the other hand, hears the exact same words and becomes a surveillance state that makes it illegal to go outside. Same words, same language, same species. What happened? Civilization A heard, I am the way, right? Emphasis on I am. Individual empowerment. A declaration of personal agency. They repeated it to each other as a statement about themselves, and they built accordingly. Their children are spoken to as adults from the moment that they can walk. And when kids ask a question, an adult asks them what they think. Psychological breakdowns aren't treated as illnesses. They're treated as the beginning of a heroic journey. And the people who survive them actually become the leaders. And if you die pursuing discovery, that's one of the highest honors their culture can give you. Safety is not the point, thriving is the point. Civilization B, on the other hand, heard the exact same words: I am the way, the truth, and the light. But they heard you are, right? Directed at the leader, reverential, dependent, and they built accordingly. Their children are treated like objects to be preserved. The longer someone can remain childlike, the better. And, it keeps people compliant. Psychological breakdowns get you locked up in a room for the rest of your life, drugged, and re-educated. They also built an AI that detects when someone is about to commit suicide and stops them, not to help them, but to prevent a metric from going up. And they also made it illegal to go outside. Literally illegal. Because outside is where the danger is. Same words, same species. The only difference is where they put the emphasis. Now, here's what's actually going on. Both civilizations were given the same data. Most people, when given a tool that could transform their lives, will not use it. That's not pessimism. That's every platform launch, every educational initiative, every self-help book ever sold. The data is not controversial. Almost nobody acts on what they know. The difference isn't the data, it's the conclusion. So then, Civilization A looked at that data and said, then we build a world that rewards the ones who do act. We make the filter harder, not easier. If most people won't rise, we don't lower the bar, we raise it. And we build everything around the people who clear that bar. Civilization B, on the other hand, looked at the exact same data and said, if most people won't rise, then rising is the problem. We make the world safe enough that nobody has to rise. We eliminate risk, we eliminate choice, we eliminate the possibility of failure, and we call that compassion. A filter versus a cage, built from the exact same observation. And here's the thing that should keep you up at night. You already know which one your workplace is. You already know which one your school was run on. And you already know which one your family was run on. Because this isn't a thought experiment about fictional civilizations. This is the argument happening inside every single institution you have ever been a part of. Every time someone says we need more safety versus we need more agency, they are building one of these two worlds, and they're using exactly the same words to do it. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. You're probably sitting there thinking, well, obviously Civilization A is right. Obviously the filter is better than the cage. And maybe it is. But Civilization A has a problem too. The filter works, but it requires someone willing to be the filter, right? Someone who decides who clears the bar and who doesn't. Someone who absorbs the cost of that decision every single day. And, it's got to be someone the people around them need and resent in equal measure. Civilization B's problem is obvious. It's a cage. But civilization A's problem is hidden. It runs on a person, and people are mortal. The filter works, but only as long as the monster who runs it keeps standing. So, the real question isn't which civilization is right. The real question is what happens when neither model is enough? When the cage collapses people and the filter requires a monster, what's the third option? Because here's what I think most people miss about the safety versus agency debate. It's not a spectrum. It's not about finding the right balance. It's that both positions, protect everyone versus challenge everyone, are operating inside the same assumption. Okay? What if the answer isn't a better cage or a better filter? What if it's that both civilizations are arguing about the rules of a game that is about to stop existing? Same words, two civilizations, and a question that neither of them can answer.